Hello everyone. Today we're going to introduce HTML. What is HTML? HTML is the standard markup language for creating the web pages. It is composed of XML elements. Each element is from including the element's start tag to including the element's end tag. Starting tag has open brackets and close brackets with the element's name inside. Ending tag has open brackets, close brackets, and a slash with the element name inside. A sample of HTML looks like this. We have HTML here, and then we have the body, the biggest heading, and paragraph and body and HTML. The HTML element is the root of HTML web page. The body element indicates the start of the page body, whereas the H1 elements represent the largest heading. There are H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 from largest to smallest. The P elements represents the paragraph. Now next we're going to take a look at this exercise 1 to make sure that we understand. Inside this text editor on the right, try to put your name inside H1 element and hello world inside the P element. So what are we going to do it? We're going to put our name inside the H1 element and we're going to put hello world inside the P element. And here's the output. Next, we're going to talk about the HTML element. The HTML composes of different elements. Most commonly used element is div. The div is for the division element, and it is the generic element that has no effect on the content or layout until it is styled using inline style or CSS. The H1 through H6 is the heading element. It is used to emphasize the element text by enlarging its font size. The P is for the paragraph element. It indicates a paragraph. It will be separated from adjacent elements by some defined margin. It also has a line height per line of text. The BR is the line break element. The text inside any normal elements will not have breaks even if you put a carriage return character in your HTML file. A line break element is necessary to break the text into another line. The pre element is the pre-formatted text element. The spaces and line break characters will be truncated in any normal element. However, they will be preserved in the pre element. Now we're going to take a look at this exercise and to see if we understand everything we talked today. Inside the text editor below, try to use the H1 through H6 elements, P element, the pre elements to replace each div element here. So we're going to replace this H with H1. And as we can see, H1 is by default is the large font. H2 heading H3, and heading 4 here. Heading 5 here. And heading 6 here. Now we're going to create this paragraph. And then we're going to use the pre element. Now that we can see, this basically shows an example as the line break will be preserved in the pre element. As in here, we don't see any differences in here. Now we're going to talk about some HTML attributes. All HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes basically provide additional information about the elements. Attributes are always specified in the star tag. Attributes usually come in name value pairs like name equals to value. So for example, we have style attribute, modify the look and feel of an element. And we can modify its color, and this basically makes the text inside the P element red. There are other colors as well, such as blue, yellow, pink, black, white, or any color that you want. The href element is to specify the destination of an anchor link. So basically, for example, we have this. This makes an anchor link to the Google website. And now we're going to take a look at this exercise. Inside the text editor below, try to make the H1 element have the blue color. So how are we going to do this? So we're going to put the styles equal to color, and it's blue. Now we can see that. And link to Amazon. So how we're going to do the link to Amazon? So we can see that we have the href element. So we put the href in here. And we can go to this link, and then it will lead to the Amazon. Next, we're going to talk about the HTML styles. You can control the font size of an element by the following. You can also control the font weight of an element by the following. Or you can control the background color of an element by the following. Now we're going to move to this exercise 4. Modify the element style that suits the text to describe it. How we're going to make the font become bigger? We can do style equals to font size 60. Now we can check the font become bigger. Now we're going to also do the make the background yellow. So we're going to do style to background color yellow. Now we can see the background becomes yellow. What about if we have more styles? Multiple styles can be applied to a single element separated by the semicolon. We can have the border, you can have the padding, you can have the margin. You can control the border, an element, and the first value is the thickness, the second value is the style, the third value is the color. User can specify the value in any order. So basically we can have margin ahead of border as well. You can control the padding, which is the inner spacing of an element. And you can also control the margin of an element, which is the distance from the adjacent element. Now we're going to take a look at this exercise. Make the first element having a 2-pixel solid black border, 16-pixel padding, and 16-pixel margin. So we're going to do it. Style border is 2px solid black. And remember, we use the semicolon to separate each style. And we have padding, 16-pixel, semicolon, and then we can have margin 16 pixel. Okay, now we can see the output showing on the right side. Next, we're going to talk about the HTML class. Styles can be applied using the class. By adding a style element or a CSS file, user can specify style of a class. A style element with the class name with a period in front and the styles inside a curly bracket. And then the elements of the same class will have the same style. Now we're going to take a look at the exercise. In this exercise, you can see there is a style element that specifies the style of a class. Apply class Apple to the first two H1 elements. So we're going to apply the class Apple equals to Apple on the first two H1 elements. Now you can see the change on the output side.